starting to get more streamlined, right? Main deck lodestone is starting to get more streamlined. I don't like the main deck misdirection. That would be the next thing to change, I'm sure. But we added a tabernacle, because tabernacle works really well with stasis on its own. You don't actually have to stasis lock somebody. The back to basics went to the sideboard at this point. Dig went on to an all-time low. What's up, Keith? We're kind of going back in time for a moment. Now, this version would also become obsolete very shortly. This is back when I was worried about Mentor, I guess. I don't know. Why else would I run Sulfur? Now, this version would also become obsolete quite quickly. And then we called it something new. It got a new name. It would become Chalice and Chains. This was not the first version of Chalice and Chains, but it's the last one we have saved. Now it's starting to look like a real deck, right? Helm of Obedience, obvious plan B for a deck that's running Tezzeret and Leyline. So the forces, misdirection is now properly in the sideboard. Excuse me. The Moxen is what we decided to go with, the 3 of. Playset of Intuition is an Intuition deck now. A lot of 3 ofs, you'll notice 3 loads, 1 Ral, 1 Jace. Playset of Seeker, we realize that Seeker is the most important piece to this puzzle. He facilitates both the Helm win, Helm of Obedience kill. He also facilitates the Stasis lock. Now, Ralzarek is just serving the purpose of being the 5th piece in addition to the Stasis lock. Oh, that's the closing song. And then you fast forward a few versions and you end up here. This is Chalice and Chains 4.2. This one's actually cut red entirely. The red was actually kind of cute. And I've become more Tezzeret-like. Sort of. Stasis is actually something that's very powerful and very playable inside of Tezzerator. People just didn't know. So it was kind of my innovation to the deck. You know, I'm not the first to come up with Tezzeret as a deck, of course, but certainly I've never seen anybody else try to stasis people with it, so this is what it looks like. This is game 1, I'm trying to helm you. Game 2, I'll try to grind you out with Lodestones, maybe Jace. You know, you'll Deluge and Abyss, the creature decks. You'll Nether Void and Trinisphere and Fluster and Lodestone, the unfair decks. So we have basically 2 sideboard plans. We have fair deck sideboard plan, we have unfair deck sideboard plan. I'd love to get a Darkwater Catacombs into this thing. I just don't know what to cut. You could probably cut a fetch. That's a lot of fetches for Tezzeret. This is probably the first change. Always making innovations, guys, you know? I don't sleep when it comes to these decks. Well, I need to sleep, but you get the point. I'm always trying to innovate. Stasis has become a 3 of because it's just an intuition target. You can also utilize it when you have the Tabernacle. It is no longer... With Tabernacle in the deck, it is not just something you pitch to force when you have it without Tezzeret. But this one's for you, Goosty. This is the version of Chalice and Chains I'd recommend. It's the one that's no longer running the red splash. It's just straight Tezzerator. So if you were going to build the deck, start here. Start here. It's got a lot of mud to it. It's got a lot of Tezzeret to it. It's one of the only Tezzeret decks I've ever played that consistently digs through time, and that's due to the Intuition. Intuition is basically go find 3 dig through time, put one into your hand, and then immediately, you know, next turn or sometimes that turn, you just dig. It depends, you know. Transmute. You've got the Sword of the Meek, Thopter Foundry, Transmute. I guess what I would cut is maybe, oh, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Transmute artifacts. It's been fine as a one-of. I might want to just go back to the playset of, What's our blue count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's a healthy blue count. Unlike some of the other decks we've been brewing recently, it's a very healthy blue count. We could go back to 23 land. I don't like that this doesn't have any of the fast mana rocks. I'll have to mess with it some. It needs fast mana. Yeah, Goosey, no worries. Hit that follow button if you haven't, guys. We'll come back, brew some more decks, and we'll play some more RoboPod, Chalice decks. I've got some other legacy brews. We are playing Jeskai tokens now, if you want to see us play that. Well, I'll give you a spoiler. Let me give you a spoiler. I won't say much about it because the song is over. But I will say, basically, Jeskai tokens might be my next successful brew. I'm not saying it's 100% original. Obviously, Pyromancer and Mentor, both things that are being explored right now extensively. But usually when you see Jeskai Stoneblade, you see True Name Nemesis in there, obviously Stoneforge Mystic. This is a little different. Full suite of counter magic, full suite of digs. It's just a dig deck. It's trying to dig. I don't know about the preordains. I think that's the next thing to go. Somebody earlier suggested I test a playset of preordain and just try to facilitate digging more often. They are a weaker cantrip, though. You don't necessarily need a playset. I might want to run some bolts. Hey, Player One Loot. You might want to run bolts. Let me describe the sideboard real quick. Against a lot of the fair decks, you back to basics them. A lot of the fair decks of the format have very greedy mana bases to go with the fair part of their deck. There are a few exceptions. Medley Mage for the unfair matchups. That's when the game comes down to maybe one or two cards. A lot of one-ups. That's just how I like to play. Situational, but powerful in their selective situations. A main deck Pyroblast. It's a nod to the format the way it is. This first build doesn't have Bolt. I don't know if I like that. It's just a lot of cantrips. A lot of cantrips. There's a lot of cantrips. But I'm basically just trying to dig and then resolve either Young Peasy or Mentor and then just keep draw spelling. Spaceman, I'm sure you're referring to the dig through times. I actually wouldn't mind if they banned it, but I gotta get my playtime in with it before it's gone. We've back to basics several people so far. I haven't had the opportunity to medley mage somebody yet. I've played a lot of fair decks. I haven't played many combo decks. First impressions about the deck. It's very, very, very powerful if you hit the Pyromancer or the Mentor. It does absolutely nothing if you don't see them. You don't mind dig? No spell snare? Nah. Maybe someday. I mean, honestly, what I'd love to do is fit in some spicy one-ups, like a spell snare, a main deck fluster, like things that people wouldn't expect, instead of the playset of Preordain. The problem is, the deck really doesn't do anything unless you see Monastery or Pyro. No days? It's right here. It's right here, Juice. You're fine, man. Yeah, forces and dazes. I wanted to brew something with daze because we just got into daze. The stream, literally, last week, we got into a playset of daze, and ever since then, because I was so fortunate and grateful, I really am. I don't know if I say that enough to you guys. If you're still here, so that's why I'm doing some more charity. That's why we're doing this charity right here. This is for the Children's Miracle Hospital Network. Let me check and see if we got any donations. It's a really good cause. I can say that with confidence. If you want to learn more about what the Children's Miracle Hospital Network does, it's in our own backyard. It is. I mean, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I should go back to the other, because we've been working on this for a few weeks now, and we've only managed to. I mean, that's a lot of money to raise, but we haven't quite gotten there, and that's okay. You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. So we went strong tonight. I mean, we ended on a good note. We ended 2-1. Coincidentally, the person who took us down would go 1-2. Poor Joe. That doesn't make me feel happy at all, because I think he's very skilled with his deck. So we ended up going 2-1. Right? Yes. I don't get any pleasure out of that. Some people, you know, if they're like, oh, my opponent, you know, beat me, but then they lost, you know, haha. Not really me. That's not really my style. But, it's funny it worked out that way. I will say that it's a coincidence, but, it doesn't bother me. Anyway. Yeah, I like the deck. I wish I had more fetches, more blue fetches for the right color combination, but I don't. You could run Polluteds. His chat wasn't very delightful either, says Christian. What do you mean? Oh, to RoboPod? Yeah, we never say anything bad about Joe here. I just don't understand why they like trash talk me. It doesn't make any sense. Not that I need more fuel for fire. I don't need to hear about it, but he really should like tell his stream to like cut it out. Like he could at least do that. Like I do that when you guys like say stuff about people. I'm like, cut it out. Like Joe could at least be like, cut it out, guys. Like he knows me. I've met him in real life several times. Like I go to opens and I say hi to him and he's like, oh hey. Like what? He's not making himself look good either. People don't like change. He could at least like be like, hey, you know, this is kind of a cool deck, or he doesn't even have to say it's a cool deck. Just be like, hey, like, why are you bad talking my opponent? It's like, I'm right here. I'm also on Twitch. You know, there's no bad blood between me and Joe. It's just apparently bad blood between his chat. You know, it's stupid. It's stupid. Anyway, enough about that. I still enjoy watching Joe's stream. I just don't chat in it anymore, because people just are like, oh, it's that Spawn guy, and it's just like, that's not worth my time. I didn't say hi to Joe to get patronized, or some of the other people I used to talk to in the stream. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. RoboPod. Yeah, it's a shame. I used to really like going to Joe's stream and like chatting him up and, you know, be like, oh, why are you running this card? Or, you know, what deck are you playing against? And I can't really do that anymore. It's a shame. It's like I have this reputation for playing... I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. I guess the only thing I wish is that Joe would just be like, hey guys, you know, why are you bad talking my opponent? I don't know. So I guess if I put it in that light, he's not completely innocent in my mind, because he's not really doing anything about the situation. I mean, maybe he just doesn't realize it. I don't think Joe really reads everything that's in his chat. He has a lot of chat going through. Players are nasty like that. Yeah, it's not Joe's fault. I just wish he'd say something though. I know if somebody was bad talking somebody in this stream, like I would crack down on it. I'd be like, that's not cool. But I don't know. I bet if I wrote him a message or brought it to his attention, just be like, hey, like I like your stream, but I can't really go there anymore and chat because like people just hate on me, and be like, your channel should not be a place of hate. It should be a place where people can like talk magic and have a good time. So, but that's my 2 cents. I got nothing else, but I only have good things to say other than that about his stream. The music is cheesy.